Good morning. Happy New Year. Welcome to the Community Review on Hot 92.3. I'm Josefa Salinas, your host. Well, today we're going to take a look back at 2011. The shows that made us laugh, the shows that made us cry, the shows that made us say, "Excuse me, what did you say?" It was all found here on the Community Review. Let's kick it off back in January. One of my favorite cities, Inglewood, California, was looking at a really tight race for mayor. It was time for a change in Inglewood, and here's what one of the mayoral candidates thought might be wrong and his vision for Inglewood.
Our infrastructure has decayed to the point that in this last rainstorm, you could actually see Century Boulevard deteriorating before your eyes as you drove down the street. It went from being a pothole disaster to a crumbled disaster. We have got to get our finances in order. We've got to do the things to make our city attractive to development. We have that 236-acre parcel at Hollywood Park that has sat dormant for 5 years because developers are waiting to see when the city's going to get its government act together. There's only 5 reasons that cities really exist, and that's to provide for public health, public safety, infrastructure renewal, making sure the roadways are maintained, trees are trimmed, street lights work, to educate our children, and to provide for economic development. And right now, we would not get passing grades in any of those categories.
The man talking was James Butts. Later that week, he became the mayor of Inglewood. And here's what some of his visions remain for the city of Inglewood, the gateway to L.A.
By geographic situation, the city should be doing much better than it is doing. We're minutes from the South Bay, 15 minutes from downtown.
Right by the beach.
Right by,
There should be restaurants that people are talking about, coming over there and coming in and, places to go, movie theaters. I mean, come on.
Who's to say that the West Side stops at Sepulveda?
Yeah.
It's ambiance, it's vision, it's economic development. We can develop our version of the Grove or Universal City Walk at Hollywood Park.
Yep.
We don't have to lament the loss of the Lakers and the Kings. We can be a thriving economic engine again.
And making strides is exactly what happened in 2011 for Inglewood. We look forward to seeing what's going on in 2012 for this great city. Now, looking around at our own personal lives, health was very important to me. I found something so amazing, I had to share it with everybody. Remember when we talked about the Selba seed? The Aztecs used it, and now it's time for us to take another look at this incredible seed. And with us on the phone this morning, it's Dr. Selman. Good morning.
Good morning.
So let's talk about this seed. Where did this seed come from? How come it's taken us so long to hear about it? And let's talk a little bit about what it does. But first, where did it come from?
It actually came from the culture of the Aztecs, but it's a food that we have never heard of, and primarily it's because when the Spaniards arrived and conquered the Aztecs, this was such a powerful source of nutrition, and it gave the people incredible vitality and health. Well, the Spanish came in, and one of the things a conquering nation will do is they go in and destroy the food source. So they actually destroyed this grain, and when the food was destroyed that could no longer sustain the Aztecs, it contributed to the decline and conquering of that culture.
So I understand that a couple of brothers from South America who have started bringing this seed back to life.
Well, they did. They're 2 Argentinian brothers, and they're farmers, and this seed has been used by the traditional peoples for hundreds of years. So they started to investigate it. The Mayan word for the seed is chian, C-H-I-A-N, which means oily seed. And so they thought there must be something in this seed because it had this folklore around it. So they began to investigate, do the research, and for 15 years they have been growing the seed in pristine area of Peru and have found phenomenal nutritional benefits. And this, by the way, has been confirmed from research out of one of the leading research centers in Toronto, Canada.
This is just some of the research that I see here. For omega-3s, it has 800% more than salmon, 30% more than flaxseed. Fiber, 25% more dietary fiber than flaxseed. Antioxidants, 30% more than blueberries. Magnesium, 1,500% more than broccoli. Vitamin C, 700% more than oranges. Calcium, 600% more than whole milk. Potassium, 250% more than bananas. Iron, 300% more than spinach. Who wants to eat that much spinach anyway? And protein, 70% more than soy.
Yeah, gram for gram, if we're going to equate the amounts, that is true. That's what the research has found. And it's it's considered a nutrient-dense food, which for all the reasons you just described, it has these phenomenal profiles of essential fatty acids, of vitamins, of minerals, of protein, of antioxidants, of really important fiber. I mean, it's a complete food. But it also is defined as a functional food, which means when you take salba, through studies, it has been shown it actually creates a therapeutic effect. It can actually help heal the body of a variety of diseases and illnesses.
So you're calling it a functional food. Could we live off of salba?
Well, somebody once asked me, if you could only take one food to a desert island, what would you do? And I gave this serious thought, and I actually had to come back to salba.
The salba seed. I hope you made it a part of your life. There's nothing like love in February. And John B. stopped by to share his thoughts on what's happened to all the love songs.
I consider us a renaissance in R&B in the 90s. It was a different it was a different sound coming out of that time, man.
Oh, it was. I tell you, I was over at Power 106 in the 90s, and I did the Slow Jam show. And there was nothing like the love songs and slow jams in the 90s. There's nothing been like it since. We caught John just a little off guard when we asked him to go ahead and bust out a cappella for us.
Oh, wow, okay. You're my angel, and nothing's gonna make you fall from heaven. And girl, I'm just gonna love you. Don't listen to what people say. They don't know about you and me. Put it out your mind, 'cause it's jealousy. They don't know about this. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, baby. I do know. They just don't know. John, congratulations on your 7th album.
Thank you so much, love.
It was right around Valentine's Day when we gave our listeners such an incredible opportunity. How about a romantic novel as a gift during this love holiday that features you and the one you love? Yournovel.com is the location, and here's exactly what made our listeners so excited.
We write these novels based on our travels all over the world, and then you and your honey bunny go online and fill out a little questionnaire. It's real easy stuff, and with those 26 details, we're going to put you between the pages of your own personalized romance novel, Wild or Mild. And, people say, you just put the names in the book, right? No way. We put in, as you well know, because I think you've taken a peek, we put in the eye color and the hair color of the couple, where they live and work, their jobs, their best friends, how long they've been a couple, their favorite music, his cologne, her perfume, the car he drives. And my favorite one are those sweet little nicknames you call each other. Like, in real life, I do call Fletcher Honey. But in your book, you can get a little braver. He could be your stallion.
Yeah, baby. Well, you know what I love about it? That it's a really cool idea if you've already got somebody in your life. But what a wonderful way to give somebody a big hint that you like them in your life. Leave it to me. I'm always trying to stir up some romance in people's lives. Profiles in Life and Success is our signature series where we look at amazing people doing amazing things. We didn't have to travel far. Right here in our own backyard, Charles Drew University, and an amazing woman right there on campus doing some incredible things with their brand new nursing program. And here's Dr. McNeil to tell us all about it.
Well, Charles Drew, as you know, is about 45, 50 years old and grew out of the riots of the 60s, the civil rights movement, as did many schools of its kind in this country. And so an agreement was established with the community that such an entity, Charles Drew University, would be established with a medical school initially, and the purpose was to help train individuals from the community to become physicians, if that was their choice. And as time moved on and Drew University grew, it developed a College of Science and Health and started adding allied health programs, so like nuclear medicine, technology, and other courses that would help you in the health professions of any kind. And then most recently, the School of Nursing was added to offer now a rounded out experience. So students can either be medical students, or they can be allied health professionals, or they can be nursing students. And so that's where we are now in our evolutionary process.
The doctor told us a little bit about the new nursing program.
Well, the building was just finished and completed, and we did the ribbon cutting August of last year. And it was structured in such a way that the School of Nursing looks like and feels like in every way a hospital unit. So when you walk into the facility, you're immediately exposed to a medical surgical unit, an intensive care bed, a birthing room, and a neonatal that is a little tiny babies, their ICU. And in addition, we have an operating room suite and an area where we will be establishing clinics. So in every moment that you're sitting in the classroom, everything around you looks like a hospital. And so we put in those beds what is now called human patient simulators. These are mannequins that are anatomically correct in every way. They look like human beings. They act like human beings.
iRobot, here we come. Charles Drew University, right here in our own backyard, doing innovative, amazing things. Taking this right out of the archives, we tackled the subject of being an organ donor with a very personal story that resonated with highlights and lowlights that sounded like a Hollywood movie. In this segment, Mike Jones recalls his story of how he came across his kidney donor.
We do this one class where you have to make an unreasonable request, asking for something you would never, ever ask for. Someone said, "So, Mike, what would you ask for?" I said, "Well, God can provide me with all my needs. So I don't really need anything. I'm okay." My colleague said, "Hey, man, if you ask for a kidney, somebody would give you one. All they can do is tell you no." But I couldn't see myself walking up to a stranger, touching her on her side, and said, "Hey, can I have your kidney?"
Right.
Just couldn't see myself doing that. So the person said, "Well, what's your blood type?" I said, "I'm O positive." This lady in the back of the room overheard that. So as I was leaving the class for the day, this woman walked up to me and she went, "Hey, Mike, I'm O positive. Make an unreasonable request." It didn't hit me what she was saying. But she said, "Okay, I'm walking away. You need to make your unreasonable request." And all I could say was, "Oh, my God." I said, "May I have one of your kidneys?" She said, "What do I have to do?" I said, "Go to UCLA and get tested." She said, "Well, I'll go in the morning." The next morning, I'm on the dialysis machine with my laptop and my cell phone making appointments for the day. I get a phone call. She says, "Hey, Mike, I'm at UCLA. We're going to run these tests. We're going to see what the status quo is. We should know anything in a couple of weeks." I said, "Okay, fantastic. Thank you." 7 weeks go by. I don't hear a thing. 4th of July weekend comes up. She goes, "Hey, Mike, happy birthday." "Happy birthday? My birthday's in May." She goes, "No, I'm here at UCLA." And remember, 7 weeks have gone by. She's at UCLA. I said, "Are they harassing you? Are they bothering you? What do I need to do to have them leave you alone? I know we're not a match, so I need to make a phone call. I'll make sure they leave you alone." She goes, No. That's what I thought." But they said they wanted to come and verify the test that they have found. And what they have found is not only are we a match, but we are the perfect match. We're the only way we could be an even closer match, born identical twins from the same cell.
Wow.
Now, this woman is Hawaiian, Irish, Welsh, German, Italian, and Arab. And I'm just a brother from South Central Los Angeles, grew up in the project. It's now time for the transplant to take place. Now, by the way, the class is going crazy. So this woman that started this mission ended up being the perfect match for me. So now it's time to have the transplant. The transplant is scheduled for 9/11/2001, the day of the Twin Tower tragedy.
Oh, wow.
Remember she's Muslim. So 3 days prior, there's a conflict in the schedule for the surgeon. So we get to push back 2 weeks. 9/11 happened. Her last name is Abdullah. She's being racially profiled. Can't get on a plane. People are throwing things in her yard. She's a 56-year grandmother of 2 at the time, being harassed like crazy. It gets to her point where her own family is asking her, "Why even giving a kidney to this black guy?" She says, "Because that's what God told me to do." So with everything going on, with the tensions of 9/11, with the Muslim-Christian thing all going on, all this negative energy going on, 2 weeks to the day, you have a white Muslim woman donating a kidney to this African-American Christian in a Jewish hospital with a German, South African, and Jewish transplant team all coming together to give me this incredible gift of life.
Wow.
Which killed so many different theories, so many different myths that you can only donate to someone in your family, in your ethnicity, or within your religious group. We killed all that in one fell swoop. The media went ballistic with this. You got all this negative energy going on for 9/11, and here's this Muslim woman giving the gift of life to this Christian man with a multiracial transplant team all coming together to give me this incredible gift of life.
An incredible gift of life and an incredible story. We continued with our series Profiles in Life and Success with a fellow radio personality and definitely a profile in success. And it is my absolute thrill and honor to bring on a fellow colleague, a fellow radio personality. We have known each other for years. We've both been community activists for years. She is president of Poetess Media, Felicia the Poetess Morris. Good morning.
Josefa, thank you.
It's been, 20 years now we've known each other.
Yes. I'm actually celebrating my 22nd year in radio.
Yeah, this is my 24th year in radio, but
Wow.
20 years, going on 21 years in L.A.
That's quite an accomplishment in radio. I mean, it's so, unstable, and to be able to maintain.
Especially for a woman. People don't realize that. For a woman, that's an amazing feat.
Yes.
You have such a rich history in radio.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about you as a woman and how you got started in radio. What made you decide to get started?
My dad's a 45-year radio vet, and of course I was inspired and influenced by him, and hung around the radio station as a baby and 5 years old doing, drops and commercials. So I think it's pretty much in my blood. I think being in radio is the best job in the entire world. I love it. I've had such a great radio career, so it's definitely a rewarding career if you can navigate through it and keep a positive attitude.
And you've kind of branched your radio career, like I have, into getting out there and really working for the community and utilizing the resources that we have available to us in the media to make better for the community. So let's talk about that.
Well, I've been in radio in Los Angeles for 13 years, and I resigned a few years ago to focus on my company, Poetess Media, and we produce entertainment content for mobile and internet, television, and radio. Because I was community affairs for a few years, I've kept my relationships alive in the city and continue to be involved with projects that empower our community.
And who could forget the most anticipated guest we had all year long on the Community Review? Our incredible opportunity to speak with Don Miguel Ruiz, the author of The 4 Agreements. Here's just a little piece of advice that resonated with me all year long, and I hope it touches you again the way it did when we first heard from Don Miguel.
Like everything else, it begins with ourselves. And in order to have a perfect relationship, we need to have a perfect relationship with ourselves first. And that begins, of course, with love and respect, because love without respect will not live that long. With respect, love will keep growing and growing and growing. Then we need to relearn to love ourselves just the way we are, to accept ourselves just the way we are, without any expectation, without any obligation, just to be happy to be ourselves and not to pretend to be anything or anybody else, because the only thing that we can be is ourselves. We cannot be anybody else. We are programmed to be unique, and there's no one like us. It never was anybody like us. It never will be anyone like us. We are unique.
A life lesson from Don Miguel Ruiz. We are so unique. There is no one like you. There never will be anybody like you. Fall in love with yourself. Respect yourself. Love yourself. Honor yourself. Let this be the year that you focus on you. Stick around. There's more coming up on the Community Review. As we look back at 2011, how about our conversation with some wise Latinas? There was plenty of advice about what to do and not do with your money. We had conversations about our kids. We had conversations about women's health. We had conversations about how to find a job. And we can't forget that incredible story of the mother who came on air and after years of silence told the world and her own daughters about being molested as a child. Yes, we did a lot in 2011 together, and we're going to continue to reflect back next on the Community Review, Hot 92.3. Don't go away.